Was the late convicted sex offender and financier Jeffrey Epstein a useful idiot for the Israeli state? Former Israeli spy Ari Ben Menashe on the hidden links between a paedophile and a British prince. Former Israeli spy Ari Ben Menashe, who worked for Robert Maxwell, the late disgraced British tabloid Daily Mirror owner, joins me now via Skype from Montreal in Canada. Ari, thanks for coming on. I said Israeli spy because Israel denies you are a spy, despite the U.S. jury verdict that you acted for Israel. Tell me about being a spy and why, when you talk about geopolitics, you're not more fearful of assassination.
I live in Canada, and I wrote a book. It's all out there, and I hope for the best.
Of course, it's a book that came out some years ago. Now, Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell, there are reports she's in Paris. You maintain that it was your employer, Robert Maxwell, owner of the Daily Mirror. You say that he was an Israeli agent. You say that his daughter Ghislaine also, though, worked for Israel, and it was Robert Maxwell who introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell way before the 1990s, as mainstream media is reporting.
Correct. Mr. Epstein was introduced to Ms. Maxwell probably sometime in the 80s. And Mr. Maxwell also thought he might be introducing a fellow to date his daughter. He tried to do a favor to his daughter, to find her a shidduch, as they say in Hebrew, a match.
Okay, and that didn't really quite work out. I suppose what the most alarming allegations that you've been making are that the entire Epstein operation was a honey trap operation to entrap politicians, policymakers, celebrities, people in the media eye, basically to become Israel's assets.
Correct. That it became basically an intelligence operation to entrap different politicians around the world.
Because the mainstream media narrative is, we don't know about Ghislaine Maxwell. She denies all wrongdoing. And basically, Epstein was a pedophile and was a successful banker. He made lots of money, and he was a criminal pedophile, and he died in a jail awaiting justice. That's the story. Nothing to do with Mossad, nothing to do with Israeli military intelligence, nothing to do with Israel.
Yeah, they would deny it. It's a real bad story, and they would deny it. But he was put straight with the Israelis by Robert Maxwell at the time, a military intelligence, and started working there for them.
I mean, I'm sure Israel's ambassador to London would deny that. Over here, obviously, Prince Andrew is a big story because he's supposed to be the Queen's favorite son. What do you think?
Prince Andrew is a different story. Prince Andrew wasn't being blackmailed. He was being used as a useful idiot. And he was bringing in some of the celebrities to get blackmailed.
Now, I can't ask you for your sources, but when things have been written about this, Ehud Barak has been named as part of this operation. Tell me about whether you think Barak would have been aware of these operations.
Well, Ehud Barak was at some point head of military intelligence in Israel. And he apparently was very friendly with Epstein. And yeah, he probably would have known about it.
So what do you think about Epstein's death? A lot of people suspicious about it, although it was ruled a suicide by New York's chief medical examiner, despite Epstein's brother alleging it was murder.
I was in that facility, exactly in that facility. It would almost be impossible to commit suicide there unless you had outside help.
Now, I'm not alleging that Black Cube has anything to do with this. What do you know about Black Cube, a private Israeli intelligence company which has reputedly been hired to intimidate people, chasing down the Epstein story?
I was not in the intelligence service at this time. I really can't comment about that.
Do you think when you heard the news that Epstein had apparently committed suicide, did you see any echoes of your former colleague, the disgraced Daily Mirror proprietor Robert Maxwell, when he died on his boat?
Yeah, I said it to a colleague. I said, first Maxwell dies the way he dies, and now this guy.
But no one's saying that Israel killed their agent, Robert Maxwell. After all, you, as you said, you allege Robert Maxwell was an Israeli agent as well.
Yes, he worked with the Israelis. That's right.
So who would have killed Robert Maxwell?
Well, again, at the time he was in real trouble over the pension funds. The British police were about to arrest him over pension funds fraud, and the Israelis were terrified that once he's arrested, he'd start telling stories.
But when Trump's former Labor Secretary Acosta says he belonged to intelligence, you think he means Israeli intelligence, not U.S. intelligence?
Correct. I think he meant Israeli intelligence. That's right.
Your allegations about involvement in blackmail plots, I mean, do you think that, ironically, the rape survivor Virginia Roberts Giuffre signed Epstein's death warrant when she filed suit?
I believe that's what made whomever kill him, because if this lawsuit would have gone forward, there would have been a lot of revelations. Nobody wanted those revelations.
Harry Ben Menashe, thank you.